What is up, guys? We're back with another Throne of Liberty update, and this time it's a massive patch where we're getting Spear, which is very, very exciting. But the Spear is not all we're getting. We're also getting the Rune System, Dimensional Trials, a new dungeon, and War Games, which is really cool. War Games being that new game mode where you can make custom maps and guilds fight each other. But let's get into it. All right, so we're getting the Spear on this update. The Spear specializes in exploiting enemy weaknesses for faster eliminations. Quickly crowd control and render those who stand in your way defenseless with the Spear's unique abilities. Gale Rush will close the gap on any battlefield, while a well-timed Javelin will finish off any foe. The Spear is a powerful weapon that excels in almost every playstyle. I'm personally looking super forward to playing the Spear. I actually might just full reroll Spear SNS. Kind of sounds like a lot of fun. The mastery is going to kill me though. Fortunately, I've stocked up all my contracts, so that's at least, you know, that's something. That's something. Defense countering. Certain Spear skills disable defense enemy skills for up to 6 seconds. Debuff stacking. Stacking damage over time on targets to build up explosive finishers. Conditional skills. Some abilities have defensive effects when used on a friendly target, or offensive effects when used on a hostile target. Very cool. So I think I can show this video real quick. Yeah, it's 2 minutes. I'll let this play real quick.
In the heart of ancient mountains, a silent power lies, waiting for a hero strong enough to claim it. Deep within his forge, the blacksmith toils. With each blueprint, he imagines a future in the hands of a champion who will rise to claim what was thought lost. The sword, a symbol of courage, forged to stand against overwhelming odds. The longbow, an instrument of precision. The shield for protection and resolve.
Precision my ass!
Each weapon tells a story, each crafted with purpose. But among them lies a creation like no other, a weapon for the chosen. With a final spark, the Spear is born. And when the Spear calls, it is only answered by those who are destined. In your hands, it comes alive. A weapon reborn, awaiting its true purpose.
Bro, I can't wait to play this. It's gonna be so cool. Let me in.
Take up the Spear, forge your legend, and claim the throne.
That's today! Woo! Well, technically it's tomorrow, but you know what? When you watch this, it'll be today. Yeah, screw it. All right. All right. So that's the Spear. It looks really cool. I think it's meant to counter or be much more oppressive to like ranged classes, which I understand are extremely strong in the metagame for large-scale PvP in Throne of Liberty currently. Next up, we have Dimensional Trials. This is challenge your favorite dungeons at various difficulty options. So we get kind of a mythic thing here. Depending on your chosen difficulty, dungeons will have higher enemy stats, harder boss mechanics, and the additional effects applied. Clear higher levels to contribute towards the leaderboards and seasonal rewards. Dimensional Trials can be challenged repeatedly and do not have a cost to enter, which means it's not time-gated content, guys. You can just do it as much as you want. So if you just want to run dungeons all day, you can now do that. 2 Dimensional Trials are available each week, with the selection changing during the weekly maintenance. To take on a dimensional trial, players must have cleared the 2-star dungeon of the same name at least once after the content update. So you need to make sure you try to clear T2, which by the way is really hard to do. You need to have a competent group. Honestly, hard mode for T2 is clearing it with the random dungeon finder. Like that is like Giga Chads do that. That's crazy. The party leader chooses the stage of the dungeon to enter. Party members must meet a minimum combat power to enter. The timer will... they didn't say what the combat power was. Probably the same as 2-star dungeons, so like 25, 2600. The timer will not begin until players interact with the time dice inside dimensional trials. There's no time limit to complete a level, but additional levels will be accessible based on time taken to clear one. Future dimensional trials can be initiated at higher difficulty levels based on prior completion milestones reached by the party leader. Okay, so make sure the party leader is the person who's completed the most milestones, guys. Clear additional levels to obtain new runes as rewards, as well as progress towards dimensional trial achievements and seasonal rankings. 2-star dungeons, the torture chamber of screams. Oh, just my favorite place. Sounds like a place Evelyn would hang out. Archeum Legion and the Sylvian Order have joined forces to develop a torture chamber within the Shadow Crypt. Their sinister objective is to extract information to destroy the resistance. It's up to you to stop Caligris, the chief torture technician behind this twisted operation. Brave the darkness, vanquish the swarming nightmare creatures, and overcome Caligris's onslaught for highly sought after items. You'll need to coordinate and keep an eye on the vials of blood in his arena to survive. But the Phantom Wolf breeches and the Shadow Harvester trousers are worth the challenge. Okay, cool. So like, dude, I can't wait to try the new dungeon. I'm gonna be playing. Actually, get to play TNL tomorrow on stream. I very rarely get to do that. Like normally it's like VOD reviews and stuff. Thank God, dude. I can't wait to level up the spear. It's gonna be so much fun. War games. Organize your own competitive matches with custom team compositions through war games. Stage friendly bouts, practice with your guild, and leave on open call for anyone to join the fight. Compete with players from your own server as well as other servers within your region. Set up private or public matches from your choice of Riftstone and Boonstone conflict maps. Up to 4 teams with custom sizes can go head to head. You can also appoint players to manage individual teams. View a list of war games in preparation or already underway and opt in to participate. You may only be in one war game waiting room at a time. Spectators welcome. Join in progress game via spectator mode where you can observe the match without being seen. That is the coolest part of this, guys, is that I'm planning a big event around making something like this work. Like this is the big content for me because now I can put on really cool stuff for the community. So I'm talking with AGS right now. I'm going to be sending them more details on my event later today. Hopefully we'll get to work together on a really big event I feel like I'm going to put on for the community. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but stay tuned for that. I think War Games is probably the most hype part of this patch. It gets me excited about TNL again, along with the Spear release. I'm just very excited. The Rune System. This is a new system, and I know that Canon has put out multiple guides on this system, so I would just check out his channel for this. This is the first time we are seeing it in the West here. A new method to further enhance equipment has arrived, the Rune System. Rune sockets have been added to the epic grade weapons and accessories. Equip runes that match the type of open rune socket to a piece of gear to grant additional stats to the item. Rune synergies can be activated depending on the order of runes inserted into an item. Rune synergy effects are triggered when all sockets have equipped runes matching the synergy pattern. This is kind of like Lightstones in Black Desert. Effects are based on the lowest tier rune equipped among all runes on an item. Okay. Because it looks like you get like synergy and set effects and stuff like that. All right. Access and modify your runes through the rune management menu added to the bottom of the context menu on individual items. Unlock rune sockets by paying Solent and selecting the socket type. Runes must match the type of socket to be equipped, and the socket type can be changed later, though. And the socket type can be changed later through an additional Solent fee. Runes can be obtained from various types of content, including the new dimensional trials. Runes of a given type and stat have tier levels, and once you've obtained a rune, additional runes you acquire are guaranteed to be the same level or higher if the content, such as Dimensional Trials, provides runes of equal or higher tiers. That's really cool. So the example here is if you obtain a level 5 necklace defense type rune for the melee defense stat, all future runes acquired from the Dimensional Trials for the necklace defense type will be 5 or above. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Good. Removes a little bit of RNG from it, so you can't backpedal on getting drops. Runes also have grades, and higher grades increase the maximum level limit of the rune. Completing the 5th level of Dimensional Trials may award Chaos Runes, a type of rune that drops at max effectiveness with stronger bonuses but also drawback effects. Only one Chaos Rune can be placed in a single piece of equipment, and they will act as wild cards for activating rune synergies. Interesting. Unused runes can be dissolved for rune fragments or converted to other items through the material transformation. These rune fragments can be used to craft additional rune boxes. All right, so this is a really cool system. This gives me a reason to log in and play, I'll be honest, because like I'm like done with my gear, right? I'm just like leveling up my skills at this point, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us are basically in that same boat. And so like the runes actually give you a reason to go do like some of the new content, which I think is really nice. Material transformation. So they just mentioned this above. Material transformation is a new system that converts a variety of items into materials for other items. Bound equipment or runes can be fed into the transformation to increase the potential output item based on the total value of items consumed. Material transformation of equipment items can be used to create other equipment items of a grade determined by the items consumed. All right. Material transformation runes can be used to create new runes or rune fragments based on the total value of runes consumed. Okay. Access the material transformation menu through the main menu under the item selection. Awesome. All right. So there's a new stat in Thor and Liberty. It's called Fortitude, which is very interesting. A new main stat has been introduced called Fortitude. Increase your Fortitude stat to benefit your vitality significantly. Vitality would be HP, as well as boost your base damage, magic defense, melee, magic, and ranged endurance, and CC resist. If you were wondering what endurance is, it's basically like damage reduction and CC resistance. Okay, so Fortitude's really good. Initially, the primary route to increase Fortitude stat is through stat bonuses on spear weapons. Okay, awesome. Just W for spear owners. Awesome. All right, sweet. Fishing Codex. So I think that was kind of introduced as a way to make spear specifically tankier, which is good. Excellently good, because you can't dive as a bruiser without, you know, being tanky enough to sustain at least a little bit of damage. And it's difficult to do that right now in the current ranged meta. Fishing Codex. Intrepid fishers of Silicium rejoice. A new fishing codex has been added to the game, accessible via the main menu under the content section. The fishing codex keeps track of the fish you've discovered during your angling adventures and records information about your catches. The fishing codex also offers new rewards for discovering all the waters of Silicium has to offer, including items, titles, and other new fishes related collectibles. Additionally, improvements have been made to the visual presentation of fishing locations, as well as the categorization of fishing related inventory items. I think it's really good that they're expanding on at least so they only really have fishing as a life skill. Let's be honest, cooking doesn't really count. That's just really easy. But I'm glad that they're expanding on fishing at least, and I'm hoping that they add new life skills in the future, to be honest. I don't think there's not enough professions to feel like the world is like really big and worth exploring. Currently, the only thing that makes you go explore is either fishing for this fishing codex, or like the little purple books for that codex as well. Yeah, the collection codex, as they're mentioning here. General collection codex. Improve the codex interface for collections. Party invite settings. Added options to automatically reject party invitation from various sources. You can restrict party invitations to only players in the guild, alliance, or friends list. Guild. Remove the hostile relationship option and the list from guild relationships. That's huge. So these mega alliances you see at world bosses will have a much harder time communicating with each other, because the hostile guild, before what they would do, guys, is they would mark 3 other guilds as allies, right? Because that's what you're allowed to do. And then they would mark like up to 4, I think, 3 to 4 other guilds as hostile. But instead of marking them as hostile and like attacking them, they would just use it as a marker to be like, okay, don't attack those people either. And then they would know who they were working with. This will make it harder for guilds to do super alliances, and I think this is a big W step for the game. Dominion events. Joining a Dominion event now enables automatic party matchmaking as the default behavior to assist with forming groups for these events. Dungeons. Reduce the amount of Abyssal Contract tokens awarded for completing the level 20 to 40 dungeons. Really? Honestly, I don't care. I always have so many Abyssal Contract tokens. It's kind of a pain. I have to, although now I'm not going to be as worried about it because now I have Spear to go do. Because if you guys don't know, the Abyssal Contract tokens help you get mastery. So the Abyssal Contract tokens are your open world dungeons. Guilds. Corrected the display of guild levels and experience in the guild UI. Okay, sure. Event schedule. Multiple corrections have been made to the schedule of in-game events to fix incorrect event times impacted by daylight saving times and issues during the 1.8.0 updates. Please take a moment to review your in-game event schedule. What they're referring to is how they messed up the inter-server conquest battles, which they're going to mention here. Inter-server conquest battles will now take place weekly at 9 p.m. on local servers on your local server time zone. The total amount of castle taxes distributed through these events is now split weekly rather than bi-weekly, with half of the allocated distributed during the inter-server conquest battle. Okay, so looks like they're having the rewards you get for inter-server conquest battles, but it's still going to be crazy fun and hype. That's good. At least we'll be able to participate this time, right? That'll be fun. Last time NA kind of got screwed. EU got to do it at least once. Combat. Weapon mastery level cap is increased from 16 to 20. Bro, I can't even get to 16, man. It took me like 2.5. It took me like probably 2 months to get to like level 14 or 13. Like, oh my gosh, dude. And I did all of my Abyssal Contract tokens. I did all my contracts. I did the buffs and stuff. It's hard, man. Like, that stuff's hard. All right. They need to make it less of a grind to do mastery. It's really punishing to swap. I don't know about you guys. Let me know in the comments. But like, I feel like it's really punishing to swap weapons because of the mastery. And like, especially if you're in a really competitive guild, you're kind of discouraged to swap weapons and enjoy the game at your own pace because you feel like the mastery is just gonna like basically limit your ability to do anything. Conflict mode. Players may now initiate combat with other players in conflict mode areas with abilities rather than having to enter PvP combat through auto attacking first. Ooh, that's a good change. I think that is actually a big step. I think the biggest complaint about Throne of Liberty's combat system is the targeting is just so scuffed. And so I think that this is a really good step towards making it less clunky. So now when you step in, you don't have to auto attack before you can actually hit somebody. You can just use a skill, which is good. Arena. Players can now recover HP and mana to full at the start of arena battles. Good. Dungeon. Roaring Temple. Fix an issue where individual players could occasionally become stuck and unable to attack King Chimera after executing one of the boss mechanics. Sure. Endurance. A partial fix to prevent extreme low value scaling of endurance due to debuffs has been implemented. With the additional stat debuff calculation adjustments coming in a future update, this temporary fix is intended to address the current issues that endurance being reduced below 0 in some combat situations. Excuse me? Negative? Oh, wait, what? Crowd control CC immunity. Adjusted the calculation of crowd control immunity based on the type of CC being applied and existing CC effects for the character. Collision will trigger CC immunity the fastest. Stun, sleep, and fear will cause CC immunity the second fastest. And other less common effects will trigger CC immunity at the slower rate. Sword. This is good. These are W changes so that we don't feel CC'd all the time.
321 just resubscribed for 9 months.
I'm not even live. Sword. Increase the amount of contribution gained from several abilities. Wand. Increase the amount of contribution gained from several abilities. Okay. Longbow. Flash arrow. Okay, this is flash wave. There we go. Flash wave specialization. Remove the expanded area of damage granted by this specialization. Now only increases the effective range of healing granted to allies. I'm gonna be honest, I still don't think that's enough. I still think it's too strong. I do. I think it's too strong. I think that a skill that heals your allies for like, you know, 6,000 and does 6,000 damage and can be cast twice is too powerful. Especially with cooldown reduction and things like this. Even if it has like a 45 second to 55 second cooldown, if enough people have this skill, it's basically being cast all the time. It makes it really unfun for a lot of people. Making the range a little bit narrower will help for sure, or like just narrow will help for sure. But like, I this is a step in the right direction. This is still not enough in my opinion. Greatsword, Gaia Crash, damage against monsters increased by 100%. Okay, good. Greatsword getting a little bit better in PvE. Stab, Infernal Meteor, damage against monsters increased by 40%. That's really good because Meteor kind of sucks in PvE. Icebound Tomb added the freeze removal effect from the specialization to the base ability functionality. Can now target the caster to apply freeze removal to yourself. Interesting. Okay, Icebound Tomb Ice Armor specialization replaces the previous freeze removal specialization. Ice Armor now grants cooldown reduction to Icebound Tomb. Okay, cool. Serial Firebombs, Focus Firebomb specialization. Reduce the duration of the recovery effect debuff from 6 to 3 seconds. Okay, cool. Wand, Ray of Disaster. Damage against monsters increased by 30%. Sweet, I'll have to give that a go. Fixed an issue where Ray of Disaster's visual effects could remain on the screen after the caster dies. Interesting. Guilds. Added 10 new types of guild pins for marking. I wish they'd let us do our own custom guild pins. Please give that feedback to them, guys. We really want to be able to do our own custom guild pins. Like our own custom like guild icons. Chat. The text entry field can now be separate from the chat window. Sweet. Rankings. Characters that have transferred servers or are deleted no longer appear in the rankings list. UI. Added a new ping meter that can be displayed on the UI with display options available under the settings menu. And finally, removed a misleading ability UI related to future content. Okay. Let's see. Console, very last but not least here. Improved the R stick control speed so that it moves more consistently across all screens. Improved acceleration of the D-pad inputs. Adjusted the L stick operations to be more consistent with D-pad inputs. Improved auction house search interactions for controller. Added horizontal looping for gear enhancement, screen navigation, and adjusted the title change navigation on the character screen for controllers. Boys, let me know what your favorite part of this patch was. There's so many big things in this patch. I'm personally most hyped for war games, but I'm a content creator and I know that what I can create with this is going to be absolutely beautiful. But Spear is also something that I'm very excited for as well as the new Rune System. So honestly, it's all really cool. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.